Peter Ducey, thank you. Meanwhile, I want to let everybody know that President Obama will be making a speech or some sort of remarks on this this horrific story that we're reporting to you here this Sunday morning East Coast time at 1:30 p.m. East Coast time. President Obama will be addressing the nation, making remarks, and we will bring that to you live right here on Fox News Channel.
And as we've been reporting, law enforcement officials identifying the suspect as 29-year-old Omar Seddique Mateen, as we've said, a U.S. citizen who's from Port St. Lucie, Florida, about 125 miles away from Orlando. Authorities combing through his background, searching for the definite motive for all this. Reports also today say that his father claims his son became extremely angry just a few weeks ago when he said he saw two men kissing in Miami, and from them the father says, though, that this apparently, according to the father, has nothing to do with religion, but clearly all this part of the background, all this part of the investigation. And Anita Vogel has more from our West Coast Bureau about this suspected gunman. Anita?
Yeah, hi there, Eric. Of course, we're all just getting familiar with his name now. Omar Seddique Mateen, 29 years old, from Port St. Lucie, Florida. But apparently the FBI was quite familiar with his name. We can tell you that he was an American citizen born in New York to parents of Afghan origin, and he was a Muslim. He had no known criminal record, but as I mentioned, apparently the FBI had been taking a look at this guy back in 2013 and 2014. They opened up an investigation into him, didn't find anything, and then closed it. But again, it seems they were quite familiar with him. Other things we've learned this morning: he was a registered Democrat, according to the state voter records there in Florida. Right now we're taking a look to see what kind of social media accounts he had and whether he may have posted any strange postings. We're going to take a look at that. We know he was married to a woman from Uzbekistan. They were married in Florida. We've also learned that he was a licensed security officer with a statewide firearms license. This morning I had a chance to speak to a private investigator there in Florida by the name of Jim Costa, and he told me that Mateen had what's known as a G license. Now, that gives a person the ability to carry a firearm many places statewide there in Florida. It's not just a regular license. It's a little bit more advanced, giving him the ability to travel many places with a firearm. And certainly we know he was very experienced in the use of a firearm. He must have loaded and unloaded his weapons very quickly. It is remarkable to think that one person could kill so many people in such a short period of time. Eric?
Yeah, Anita, of course, this morning lots of suggestions about radical Islamic terrorism as being a motive, a hate crime being a motive, or perhaps, you know, a tragic, sad nexus of both of those coming together, with him apparently targeting this gay nightclub with maybe some hatred of homosexuals. Do we know anything else about the motive or about what drove him to commit this just horrific offensive act?
Yeah, Eric, we're still waiting to get confirmation on that. Of course, this morning, officials alluded to perhaps some tie to radical Islam, and they kind of walked that statement back a little bit. And then just a little while ago, we heard from Florida Senator Bill Nelson, who said that he had spoken to members of Congress on the intelligence staff, and that perhaps there was some connection to radical Islam. So we're hearing a lot about that this morning, not too many details about exactly what that tie might be. Of course, we did also hear from Mateen's father this morning. He spoke to other members of the media, and he told them, as you mentioned earlier, that his son was bothered or angered by seeing two men kissing in Florida. That bothered him, and that perhaps that set him off into this known gay nightclub last night, that perhaps that could be the motive. But of course, Eric, we're still collecting facts this morning. We're working on it, and as soon as we have anything new, of course, we'll bring it to you. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Anita, thank you. And of course, we'll probably also learn more as the days unfold over the reports that Mateen was part of some type of terrorist investigation by the FBI, two different ones, one in 2013 and another more recently, that were apparently closed, but that information clearly likely to come out in the coming days. Anita, thank you. Martha?